Hello. So today I'm going to talk about questions someone has asked me whether a career in finance is still lucrative in 2025. Well, this is often the question I get because many people who are interested in a career in finance, they're interested because of the money part and less because they have an interest in field of finance. I always tell this to people that if you are not interested in the field of finance and you're just interested in money, then better not to work in finance because you probably will lose your job and it will be a mistake. It will be a career mistake, right? One reason you should do finance is because you have interest in finance and not because it pays well. There are other professions where you can also make really good money. If you think long term, you will make good money. If you are a construction engineer, you'll make crazy sum of money. If you think a career of 25, 30 years, maybe not in the beginning you will may not make much, but after having a couple of years of experience, you can have an amazing career. You can have very good bargaining power after having a couple of years of experience in construction, being a construction engineer, right? If you are a petroleum engineer, you are a geophysicist, I don't know, you probably will do really, really well, right? So there's no reason to think about a career in finance if you do not have any interest in this field, and don't come just because someone else is doing finance and pretending as if he's making a lot of money and so on. Having said that, finance is indeed rewarding if you do it for right reason. Simply because I think this is one area which has been there for a very very long time, and it's one of the biggest industry in the world. Experience matters a lot. You cannot be an expert in the field of finance unless you have really worked for many years. So you get that compounding effect over time. I think in every career you get that compounding effect, but certainly in the field of finance, yes. But if you have genuine interest in the field of finance, there is no reason to not pursue it as a career. It is highly rewarding. It is very lucrative if you do it in a right way. Some careers in finance are more lucrative than the others, and I'm going to talk about that. If you want to make really good money and you do have interest in finance, then try for jobs which are revenue making. Okay, and what is meant by that? Jobs where you bring money for the organization you work for. For example, if you are a deal maker at an investment bank, you will make good money. If you are someone who is into sales in insurance, you will make really good money in finance. If you are somebody who is working in the front office in corporate banking, you will make good money. If you are somebody who is doing trading or asset management activities, and you are somebody who is taking decision and not just doing research in the back office, but someone who is actually taking decisions, you will make good money. But not all career options in finance are lucrative, for example, or maybe as lucrative as people think about them. For example, if you work in compliance, risk management, IT, digitization, tech, ML, AI, or even quant finance or in quantitative roles, these roles are less lucrative than those business functions, functions which are more customer oriented or front office oriented, where you face the customers, you bring in customers to the companies, right? Regarding quantitative roles, let me tell you that many quantitative roles are also revenue generating roles. For example, if you work as a quant at a trading firm, you bring in money. If you work as a quant at an asset management fund, you bring in money. If you work as a quant in many large investment banks, also in some cases you bring in money, especially advisory fee and so on, because you sometimes you work on behalf of the clients and you bring in money. So there are many quant roles which are customer facing and in some cases front office role types, but there are also middle office and back office quants. I made many videos on that on this channel. But if you work in let's say in some middle office risk management area, as a quant, you won't be directly bringing in money to the organization, so you won't be making that huge money in my experience. I haven't seen many people making crazy sum of money like other bankers, those who work in a front office areas. Having said that, let me tell you that risk management functions are very important for any financial organization. You know, a regulatory scrutiny can really cause a lot of trouble. So because of that, even though these are middle office functions, the salaries are still higher compared to many uh, other career options. You know, so you still get paid really well, right? It may not be as good as, let's say, a front office manager, but it's still decent, quite decent, I would say. And what is decent is a bit subjective, but it is quite decent in my view. What I say is that the average salary of a quant, I'm not talking about those revenue generating roles, but even on the middle office side, is generally higher than the average salary of data scientist. And if you leave aside the top tech firms, the Amazons and likes of Google and Microsoft, just leave them. If you just take the average of the other companies in data science, you see the quants make more money. Okay, I'm leaving aside the top ones from both the fields, right? Okay, those are outliers. Just remove the outliers. But if you take the average, the quants still make a bit more, I would say. At least that's been my experience. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't have anything to show you, but that's been my experience having uh, studied this industry, these in two areas for quite some time. Okay. Um, I think the base salary is also quite good in the field of finance. The entry level salaries are quite good. In fact, the reason why many people are interested in a career in finance, because the entry level salaries are quite good. I mean, in European countries, as an engineer in construction industry or in whatever other industry, you get started. You start your salary at 30,000, 40,000. In finance, it can be 70, 80, or even 100,000. And the growth opportunities are just amazing, actually, for the first 5-10 years. Even in quant finance, risk management, the middle office areas, the growth opportunities are very good, right? If you work in consulting, right, then you bring in money. Then you are a revenue creator, revenue generator, right? So you can move from working as a middle office quant from a bank to work as a quant consultant, and then you become more important for the company because you generate revenue, and then your bonuses could be very high, and you can become a director or a partner at a consulting firm and make really good money. Okay, so that's quite possible, right? Now I go back to the original question, which is that whether it's still lucrative a career in 2025. Answer is yes. Finance will always remain a very lucrative career. There were times when the top MBAs graduates from top schools used to prefer a career in finance. Things changed later on. Many people joined the top tech firms like Google's and Microsoft and Amazon. Later on, many of them joined their startups. But for the last few years, you see the trend is reversing, actually. More MBAs are interested in stable career in finance compared to career in tech or in startups, simply because the startup world hasn't been doing really well of late, right? So these things change a bit over time, but finance continue to remain one of the highly lucrative career options available to anyone, to especially to well-educated people, regardless of your educational qualification. I think you can aspire to become a finance professional. You don't have to be just have a background in finance in terms of your education in order to work in finance, right? There are people from engineering, science, and liberal arts working in finance and doing really well. So if you are genuinely interested in this field, then yeah, sky's the limit. Thanks, guys.